everyone. We are here to talk about Adobe Express for Business. That's right. Let's get started. Okay, I just want to point out I'm also presenting from Express today. Look at this handy dandy, beautiful presentation I've got up for everyone. Just to set the scene, some context, who am I? My name is Jamie Nuzbach, and I am on the strategic development team for Adobe Express. And what does that mean exactly? Our team is a global team working around the world with different enterprise companies. We help unlock workflows and use cases for some of Adobe's most emerging technologies. Prior to this, I was on XD, so maybe I crossed some paths with some of you developers in a previous life, and now I'm on Express. We do things like host trainings, talks, enablements. We help onboard new users. We also cross-collaborate with a ton of Adobe people that you may have heard of from today, from the product team to the marketing team, engineering, development, and even the customer success team, which I'm part of. And I have Cassidy DeStefano, say hello in the chat. She's here to help provide some helpful links about what enterprises are looking for. And we collaborate regularly on this initiative. So I have talked over the 5 years I've been at Adobe to many, many different types of companies and know what they're looking for. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, everyone. It's very hot here today. I'm an artist. I love to paint animals in my free time, and let's get going. So what are we trying to achieve with Adobe Express for enterprises? Well, we're asking them really to reimagine the way that they work with their teams and empowering everyone to create and deliver on-brand content. This is totally different than what maybe they have been used to before, where creative is really isolated in one specific area and everything creative comes to the same group. And now we're asking them to think about how to self-serve or create templates for people to use so that they can really focus on what's important. So expanding the content creation, opening up and broadening out that circle at companies to empower these non-designers. We want to allow organizations to expand their ability to meet deadlines by making things reusable, making things templates, allowing other people to be part of that creative process while staying on brand and with controls. We want it to be cost effective. It has to scale. We need to leverage the existing employees and teams that we have already. And the demand for content is nothing but growing. And of course, for enterprises, your brand is everything. How you show up, how people recognize you, where you are, that brand control, that look, that vision needs to be maintained across all of these assets and touch points. So what's the problem that enterprises and companies are facing today? Well, first of all, the battle for attention is fierce, and that can create content bottlenecks because we need to make more content than ever. Ad fatigue is real. After 3 or 4 weeks, ads start to perform less, and you need to update them to trick the algorithm to get your ad to continue to perform. There's an example here on the screen where maybe you have 6 products and you may need to make 10 asset per variations per product. So we're already up to 60 asset variations. Now let's take into account some other factors that we know about when it comes to variations. One, you might be hosting it across different platforms or browsers that require multiple different sizes. So then you need to resize this an additional 15 times just to meet the demand of where the platforms you're hosting these ads on. That can be up to 900 already, everybody. That's a lot of content. And we still have not taken into account the different languages our customers may speak, the different customer segments that there are out there, any cookie data we have them on their shopping or browsing history to make those ads more relevant. If I like the purple flavor, I don't want to see the ad for the yellow flavor. I only want to see the ad for the purple flavor. This is like a content spiral that we need to address. So how do we do this? How do we shift creative ownership beyond just the design teams within these organizations? So we see we have a little map here where the creative bubble is the biggest. It still is the main driver of where all these templates and the content and the assets are going to come from. But they're going to start to empower other teams across the organization. The marketing bubble is the closest. That's the use case we just looked at, that problem we're trying to solve for with demand. Social media, banners, animation, video, constantly. The marketing team is very, very closely aligned to what's happening in the creative department. But then let's not forget about other people like sales and internal comms. They also need content. They also need to be on brand. How do we help them as well with Adobe Express? So let's take a look at this potential, right? On average, this is an actual real example, this math from an organization I work with. They have 50,000 employees. This is bigger than Adobe. And their creative team is, if they're lucky, maybe 100 people, right? And their marketing team is a little bit bigger because they have a global footprint, is about 300 people. So Adobe Express, though it's great for creatives and marketers, it's also great for the 49,600 other people at this organization. The rest of this big area here is new potential users for us that can take advantage of these self-serve templates and create on-brand content for presentations or for social media or for whatever it is that they might need. So Express is really, truly adopting that mindset of creativity for all and empowering people with creativity. We look at creativity as a skill, right? This is something that is a value to your organization for them to be able to know how to use a new tool. You can even put this on your resume. So the potential is really there. Let's take a look at some use cases in action of some enterprises that are leveraging Express today. So Dentsu empowered marketers to self-serve. They recently consolidated their agencies into 6 main brands, and they needed to ensure consistency across scaling 145 different markets. That's a lot of people. This is a huge organization. So maintaining that brand consistency is definitely super important. So how did they do that? They leveraged Express, and you can see some screenshots here of some of the type of the content they were creating to provide marketers with brand and style kits and templates in Express so that they could make content themselves. They used Firefly to build mockups in Express and get feedback, and they even added animations to their social posts. There's a quote here that's really awesome from Sakura Martin, their global brand and design lead, talking about how they accelerated their time to market by 70% with Adobe Express. So great in the wild use case. And Prudential Financial, I presented with Bridget Esposito at Max last year. I hope you joined my session. And it was all about how organizations are using Express in a business setting. Prudential has been a great leader in this space for how they've leveraged Express at their organization. So you can see here in the screenshots, we have some examples of their brand kit, their social media libraries, things that they are using. So they needed to find a way to share new brand kits with their organization to create social media posts and things like that and scale content quickly across a variety of outputs. So they were able to find champions, and you see them right there, within their org to help communicate and share the best practices for using Express. Because remember, we're talking to people who are traditionally not designers or creative pros or even maybe very technical. So they held an entire enablement session with folks to help empower them even with the product. They were able to maintain that brand consistency through the templates. And you'll see that this quote from Bridget, it talks about how it takes these little things off the plates of their team, and they're able to then get back to what they really need to focus on. And of course, this is where Cassidy and I work together every day. We are actually the team that is called Customer Zero here at Adobe. It's helping even Adobe adopt Express across the organization. We just had an amazing event called Design Made Easy, where our VP of Marketing and Strategy and Communications talked about how some of the work that we've been doing to empower even Adobe with Adobe Express with on-brand templates. Basically, whether you're in marketing, communications, HR, or sales, everybody needs to visually create compelling content in our day-to-day work. So at Adobe, we've been making things like newsletters. I mean, it's so much social media, presentations, video content. It's across every organization, from communications to the wellness team, analyst relations, and even talent recruiting. everyone's using Express and Firefly to create content across the organization. Some really great examples here about how assets were localized for various events. Header banner graphics made for documents, reports, and presentations, and even assets that are really fun and engaging to help with hiring. So what are the features in Express that are specific for businesses? What do businesses care about? It's different than influencers. It is not the same. Their needs are very different. They want a lot more control, and they want to be able to have professional grade outputs. It's not just I'm freelancing and I need this and this is helping me solve a lot of problems. We're talking about scale. Like, how do you maintain consistency across thousands of users versus just one or two in a smaller organization? So it's definitely different. But what's great about Express is that we make that easy. One, the fact that it's all in one, which you may have seen people demo earlier, that it's you can actually open up any type of media type from animations to static content. It's all right there in one platform. You can collaborate in real time. This is huge. We need to be able to collaborate. We need to have multiple people working on the same project at the same time. Quick actions. I literally just talked to a team yesterday, and their number one use case for Express was being able to do a quick action. This was able to save the creative team so much time from doing a quick action request every single day to never, they haven't gotten a request since they empowered everyone to do that themselves. Inspiration. We have so much content that can help influence what the next big thing might be that your organization is going to do. Creative teams are always looking for awesome design, and there's tons of beautiful design within Express. Our Gen AI is commercially safe. And it's safe for production use, and it's built in. It's in Express. This is fundamentally different. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to leave your workflow. These seconds and minutes add up, and deadlines end up getting missed. So we can't be spending time going here, there, and everywhere. It all has to be conveniently located in one place, and Firefly does that. We need to be consistent. Number one, I would say the consistent branding is definitely the number one. They need brand and style controls. We need to create templates with locks. We need to have replaceable content, and we need to protect the brand. And with Express, we have that. We have style controls. We can suppress Adobe Media. We can suppress adding layers, and we can provide enterprises a controlled template environment. We need it to be easy to localize. These companies we talk to are global. Dentsu has 145 different locations, right? How do we localize and make edits and updates based on regions? And of course, what's really important to enterprises is interop and integration. So being able to work not only seamlessly with our own Adobe products, but with other third-party add-ons as well. And that's why we're all here. So this is my list. This is what has come out of my brain as some opportunities that I hear in my day-to-day work talking with these customers. Number one, anything and everything to do with accessibility. This is incredibly important to me personally and to everyone out there to make sure that the content that's being produced is accessible. Everyone wants to have more components that are connected and inheriting changes. This one just came up today, a grid system. As Express is both digital and print, as we're leaning more into print workflows, there's a lot. If we could apply, like have an add-on that like applies to like your page, like some sort of like grid. I don't know if any of you were ever layout designers for magazines back in the day when there was a grid system as to like how you divide up the content, not just a baseline grid, but like modular, everything. You know, this is a big one. Saving custom artboard sizes. I would love to see an add-on where I could favorite and go back and like create an artboard size. A lot of enterprises have intranets, and the intranets are all over the place. There's no consistency. So they might have weird shapes and sizes of things they need to create for their intranet, and they have to type that in every time. More annotations, more guidelines, any way we can add notes, links to resources, annotations to stuff, the better. Tables, computations, even if you can do the table like in the add-on and then it imports it as an image, anything to solve for that right now, I think would be great. And as we were talking before about annotations and guidelines, of course, design system solutions, integrations with things like Frontify. We've heard from sales teams, they'd love to integrate and get sales information from their sales databases. PIMS, product information management systems, where they store their SKUs of all their products. How can they bring those products into Express and design with them? Connections to other Adobe apps, social media apps, more analytics reporting, and of course, export to HTML. Any way we could take this layout we created and make it work in an email of any kind, I think would be helpful. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of the Adobe developer community and for being here today and learning about Express. We appreciate everything that you all do for us, and we hope that I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about enterprises and how they use Adobe Express.